Hey everybody, good evening, hello, and like I say, just straight in with Richard.
Hiya, how are we doing?
Good evening. Hey Richard, like I say, first of all, how's the health doing? How are you getting on?
Well, I'm still alive. I woke up this morning. Yes, so yeah, all must be good, surely. Hey,
Yeah,
no, I'm absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. What am I now? Duracell boy. Yeah, I have a pacemaker in here that the battery lasts for 10 years. So
wow.
I don't know if it's Duracell or what it is, but then they've got to put another one in. But I'm absolutely fine. I can't say back to normal because there's no such thing in my life as normal. I can assure you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to paranormal. Hey.
So tonight is I asked Richard a little while back, as a, you know, do you mind if we talk all things most haunted? And your answer was no holds barred. So
I did.
We're absolutely gonna go down that avenue. There might be
things. Not a problem. Not a problem. I tell you. Yeah.
So
yes. I mean, do we start with questions, or do I start with? Yeah. I mean, I presume the guys out there want to ask questions, or you want to ask questions?
I'm going to ask questions first, and then around about the last 20 minutes or so, because I'm quite sure there'll be loads and loads of questions for you. Going through as many people's questions at home as possible. So
no problem.
For those that don't realize, quite, you know, whether they're watching, if you're watching in Australia, America, wherever, to try and get across to people how massive Most Haunted was at its peak for people, can you just kind of, and I love them or hate them, they were huge, and they kind of changed paranormal TV, certainly in the UK, for good. So do you want to kind of outline, I suppose, quite how big Most Haunted were?
I think it changed paranormal TV around the world, because the first thing obviously to say is that nearly all the paranormal, not all the paranormal programs that are out there, they're actually still playing at Most Haunted. Yeah. We set the scene. We started it, and what we created, I mean, I was part of it at the start for series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. In our heyday, I think, when we got more viewers than The Simpsons.
See, that's massive, isn't it?
Come
really?
On, and that's on Sky. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So blooming heck, and that single program, as you just said, love it, hate it, criticize it, praise it, whatever you want. That single program created more argument, more debate, more discussion, and more research than any ghost program ever has to this day, to be quite honest with you. What's coming up now, big, uncanny,
Yeah, absolutely.
in my opinion, which is different, and I praise them, but I praise Most Haunted. I praise the fact that they created a monster that was beyond anything that anybody's had before, and it's still there. It's still, God Almighty, you know. I mean, it's about 23 years since I was on the bloody.
I think series 1 was 2002. I think it was.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going a fair way back. You know, and
yeah, we are.
And you know, this. I mean, the picture here. This was series 8, I believe. I think this was the last series.
It was just before I went. Yeah.
Just
before I went.
So I mean, it was mammoth. You know, worldwide mammoth show. And I think for a lot of people, and you know, I think it started with very, very good intentions, and it was in a great, entertaining show.
Yes.
And I think it got it. I think at the beginning, it got it absolutely right. And I think you were core part of that. You know, with yourself and Derek, you were a core part of the heart of that program, I would say. So
yeah. I never thought it at the time.
Yeah.
Because it's just little old. Oh, it's funny, little old me that had been frightened of ghosts since I was 4, and still am. You probably noticed the very infrequent occasions I actually went off alone on a night, on a vigil, because this is true. This is not part of the show or myth. This is me. I've been frightened of ghosts since I was 4, and I still have a problem in certain places now, in going into places that are allegedly haunted on my own.
See, that surprises me, because I mean, I know a bit of alcohol was involved, but I'm watching the Queen Mary episode, which is one of my favourites.
Yeah, everybody's.
You went in that haunted, you know, bedroom on your own.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Purely and simply, right? And this is not a right. I probably will be criticising as well tonight as praising, but basically, when I've done, Christ almighty, 50 videos, I think, in total now on, you know, haunted locations, you know, ghost tour of Great Britain. I've done 37 counties of Great Britain on videos. And if we're staying overnight, up to, you know, 2-day shoot or whatever it is, I always try and pick a haunted inn or a haunted hotel for the night. Yeah. And I also tell them that, you know, I'm going to film here, you know, is it all right? Can I have the haunted bedroom? Hang on, you're frightened of ghosts, you twat. Yeah, okay, I am. But regardless of that, it's all part of the game. And you know what I mean? Chances of anything happening are pretty remote, I suppose, really. So I do ask for the haunted bedroom. And then I have a camera with me. And I run it for a bit, you know, until it runs out or whatever happens. Just in case. You never know. If it's a haunted bedroom, allegedly, so something might happen. So here we are on Queen Mary. And we were actually on it and off it for 3 weeks. And after a short period of time on it, we've got this cabin that's allegedly the most haunted part of the ship. Yeah, cabin 340, where both Derek and David Wells picked up a child that was allegedly murdered by the father, either dashed against the wall or something. Anyway, so here we have this it's so haunted, right, that basically they don't use it, and it's a hotel. Yeah. Oh, posh hotel. It's very, very good. You can stay in Winston Churchill's room, King Edward the Fifth room. Edward the Sixth room. Blooming heck. It's pretty good. It wasn't Edward the Sixth, by the way. It was George the Sixth. Anyway, so it's a good place, and they actually don't use that room because people have fled. People have said, you know, move me. I'm not staying in that room. I can't stay there overnight. Blah 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 blah. And so it's nearly derelict. It's got no carpet. Toilet doesn't work. There's a rickety old table with an old lamp on it, and so I'm saying to them, surely, why didn't somebody stay in the night in the room? Yeah, because we all got our own posh bedrooms on Queen Mary. So why on earth isn't someone? Why the hell hadn't they thought of that? And so, of course, guess what happens, isn't it? All fingers on me, isn't it? because I suggested it. I'm not doing it. No bloody way. I'm not doing it.
I was going to say, actually, you know, how much say did you actually have? Because, you know, I've heard you say in the past that, you know, in later on, you know, things were, you didn't really have much of a say. So did you have much of a say in things?
But it wasn't my show.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. And that's what I still say. It wasn't my show. So it's up to me. I was paid to do it. And I was paid to do what they wanted me to do. And I'm afraid, and we'll get onto this, but it wasn't enough for me.
Yeah.
And I'll explain why. So here's me suggesting, for once, you know, that, and I did, of course I made the suggestions. Didn't always go down well, but that doesn't matter. This one did, apart from the fact they wanted me to do it. And that's no, I'm not doing that. Yes, you come on, it was your idea. You're gonna have to do it. Well, number one, talking of alcohol, whatever. It was, they had to sort the room out for me. They had to make up a bed.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's basically all they did. And actually, I didn't get in there till about 1 o'clock in the morning. But I'll be honest with you, I was waiting. I wouldn't even go down that corridor. No, really, to where the room was. This is true as well. And to go in there, well, luckily John Gilbert, the camera guy, no, sound guy, came with a very large bottle of whiskey, and I had a very, very large tumbler of whiskey before I went into that room, which helped a lot.
Oh yeah, I bet it did.
A bit. And then I went in, so I was all right. Plus the fact that there was no curtains, no nothing. You could see and you could actually see the lights of Long Beach through the porthole. So it wasn't too scary to be in there. Right, wasn't pitch black or anything like that. So you know, I'm in there, and of course everybody knows, you know, what happens during the night. Two things. Number one, this crescendo of a ruddy noise in the room, as if I've only described it over and over again, as it sounded like a bundle of metal coat hangers being bounced from one wall to the other, which is very, very much your sort of typical metallic type of sound to do with poltergeist activity. Yeah. Right. And it frightened me to death. Christ, it's like your burglar alarm going off in the middle of the night. It frightened me to death. But I couldn't flee to our cabin at that time because Kieran's laptop camera was straight on me. So I couldn't just get out of bed and so I stayed and I went back to sleep. And then, of course, later on, when we got back to England, because I was asleep by this time again, there's this strange noise. There's footsteps going around my bed. Now, you see, this is me. It's all back to the normal boxes first. Yeah, someone outside walking. No, sorry. It's a very posh hotel. It's got very lush carpet in the corridor. But my cabin hadn't got any carpet on the floor. Hence the fact whatever was walking around my cabin.
I think that was a definite. I mean, I think that episode was, I think, one of my highlights of your time whilst on Most Haunted. I've got to say,
well, it's got number 3 of the 50 scariest moments of Most Haunted on TV.
Before we go, because I mean, there's lots to kind of get through. What I'm to say is, you was in the middle of all of this huge numbers and huge number of people. How was it on the inside? You know, in terms of the atmosphere and being, you know, part of that.
Great fun, fantastic. We had a ball. I mean, don't forget they were called antics.
Well, yeah. Well, there we go.
No, I had a ball. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every minute of it, honestly. But there's reasons why I went. Unfortunately, but I enjoyed it, and they were great people. Honestly, we had fun. We really did have fun. It was good stuff.
Funny enough, that was actually one of my questions: is what was the actual working atmosphere like? You know, in terms of, you know, what did you all get along? Were there issues? Were there arguments?
There were
was
issues.
It quite genial?
There were issues, of course. Because I always remember a guy called Simon, who was the owner of Bodmin Jail. I always remember because I went back to do events for him. I went back to lots of places afterwards to do events that other people in the crew couldn't do. for whatever reason.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying about that one. But I got on very well with everybody. And Simon said to me, I have never seen so many egos in one room.
Really?
In our crew room. Yeah.
Right.
And I thought,
I mean,
wow, me included. No, he didn't mean that, but that's what he said. I thought, okay, fair enough. But no, honestly, they were great. They treated us very well. The hotels were good. We had free. Yeah, I loved it. Should I have gone? Yes, but I regret it in some ways. I loved it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed doing it. I really did. So I can't criticize them. I can criticize them, and I will. But I also praise them and thank them for what they've created, an entertainment show that has created an interest in the paranormal. Yeah. An entertainment show that's created an interest in the paranormal, not a paranormal show.
When I've heard you speaking before, you've said that as time went on, it kind of degenerated into Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
In your words,
yes.
it went too silly.
Yes.
And then, things were being faked and things like that.
Right. I can't prove that
go for it.
Anything was ever faked. And I mean this genuinely. I think I saw one crew member pick up a stone. I wouldn't go into court and say it. I don't know. I think I did. But I never caught anybody faking it. I am not saying that anybody ever faked anything. All I'm saying is I know full well that you don't get a ghost every 5 minutes.
So where did you see you said it degenerated. Where did you see the main issue?
I think it degenerated into the fact that it became scary. Right. Okay, here we go. Next bit. First things first, all you guys out there that are listening, and you as well, did you actually learn any more about what a ghost was from watching Most Haunted? Can you now explain to me the third man syndrome, the stone tape hypothesis or idea, not theory, because it ain't been proved, guys, trust me. The third man syndrome, what a poltergeist really is, what effect the church or religion has had on creating ghosts. No. Can you tell? Did you learn any more about what?
Not from Most Haunted, I didn't. No.
You learned about screaming and shouting and effing and blinding and falling over and fainting. But you see, a question for you guys: have you ever heard of anybody shouting before they fainted?
Yeah.
We don't. But guess what? If you didn't shout before you fainted, the camera wouldn't come to you in time to see you fall down. And then you fall down and you get your 2 minutes of fame and a fan club. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Go on, carry on.
I was going to say, because you're seeing that and you're part of that and you're witness to that.
Yeah.
Did it become more and more frustrating?
Yeah.
Could you speak out about it, or did you speak out about it?
I didn't speak out about that. I did speak out about, could you let me do a bit? Right. So a door slams shut. Bang! Christ almighty. I jump because I'm frightened of ghosts. Yvette screams her head off, right, as usual. Absolutely fantastic. You jumped off your sofa at home because it was such a loud bang, such a loud scream that everybody was made jump. You were entertained. And guess what? It was a scary ghost that slammed that door shut. Because they're all scary. They're all demons. They're all going to get us later. And it was definitely a scary ghost. All I wanted them to do was let me go away and check and see if someone's left a window open. Because guess what? It's a very windy night out there.
Yeah.
But no, scary ghost. It's always a scary ghost. And you know why? Because Joe will probably switch off.
Yeah. No. I mean, obviously, they put the little tight statement saying this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
But in the early days, Yvette and Karl and Stu and others, they were making out that what they were getting was genuine.
That's my problem.
And so I think,
thank you.
And I think the members of public felt betrayed by that.
Thank you.
Because even though it was an entertainment program, they were listening to this, they were making out it was real, and it wasn't.
That's right.
So
you've got it. You've hit the nail on the head. You said it, not me.
Well,
right, but hang on. So I do ghost walk. I still do across the world. I've been doing ghost walks for 33 years, right? And we scare people on those ghost walks. We have jumper outers. We scare people shitless sometimes, honest to God. But guess what? We don't make out it was a ghost.
Yeah.
They know. Even it. I mean, there was one of the scares we used to do a long time ago down in a cellar in an old monastery, and we had a metal. I can't remember what it was, a metal container or something, and we had a bit of fish wire through the wall, and we pulled. You know, we were in pitch black, and this guy in the other room pulled it down. And everybody jumped like hell. They loved it. You see, my ghost walks for 3 hours, and we do a couple of pubs on the way, and it's a night out. Yeah. Right? It's an entertaining night out. And I wouldn't dream of ever letting anyone go away thinking that what happened to them there was a ghost. Yeah. Unless something happens genuinely. And so they never investigated. Did you actually see any investigation done on the program?
They didn't debunk, because that would slow everything down.
Thank you. And you've hit, so you know when when something happened that we couldn't explain, everything should have stopped.
Yeah.
Never mind the script or whatever else there was or wasn't. It should stop, and you should say, "Crikey, do you know what? We haven't got that. You know, no, it isn't a windy night. No, there isn't a window open. There isn't anyone standing behind the door. Oh my God, let's do more." But no.
How scripted was it? You know, because I know that production has to be scripted to some extent, so that they get through the footage and they get through what, you know, the different shots that they need in a given amount of time. But
I never saw a script, so I can't tell you for definitely. Gwen Acorah, in her book, of course, you know, the new book on Derek, which I wrote the foreword for, God help me. Great guy, sadly missed. Star of Most Haunted. She said it was scripted.
Let's talk about Derek, because you and Derek were great friends. You'd done a lot together over the years, and I think out of all of Most Haunted, I think your relationship with Derek probably stood the test of time more than anybody else in Most Haunted.
Yes, it did.
So he gets a lot of shit, and he gets a lot of flack.
That's the bit. Yeah.
From
where did it come from? Where did it come from?
We'll come on to that.
Yeah.
Right. So before we go into these obviously the people going, "Oh, Derek was just a faker. He was just making it all up." And things like that. What are your feelings? Because you knew him really well. You spent more time with him than probably anybody else. What are your feelings on Derek Acorah?
Well, I mean, he even blocked my toilet here at home and then rang up and apologized. Right. So it's an entertainment show, and you're told, "Give me ghosts," all the time. Come on, give me ghosts, right? Now, the problem we've got is that one of Derek's many comments, of course, were, I think he's in visitation, Ivy. Well, you know, if he's in visitation, perhaps he's visiting somewhere else tonight.
Yeah.
And he might not be here. So, in other words, whatever's, the amount of time we spent watching paint dry, you wouldn't believe, as most paranormal investigators do, right? But of course, you see, he's got to give me ghosts all the time. I want 2 in the bathroom, 1 in the toilet, 1 in that car in the garage, somebody outside walking down the lane. I want 1 in the kitchen. And hang on a minute. He comes in and there's nothing there. What are you going to do? What would you do?
Who do you blame for that, though?
Who do I blame for that?
Who do you blame for that? Do you blame that on Karl and Yvette, or do you blame that on the production company? Where's the blame for that? Or do you blame Derek for that?
I think partly production company. And I think I also, again, they wanted ghosts. Keep saying it, you've said it, it's an entertainment program. It always was an entertainment program. And I say, that's what I criticize, the fact that they were trying to hoodwink into believing that some of it was real. Sorry, not some of it, not all of it, because some of it was real. Things happened frequently on that show. I can't explain even now after, because you see, I'm the guy that ticks the normal boxes. You know, I'm the guy that spent time in the local studies library before, went back to the museum or the local studies lab afterwards to try and authenticate what Derek had come up with. But it was never used.
No, well, it wouldn't be, would it?
Because that show was over. That show was over.
Yeah.
And we should have had. I suggested this from you, that we should have an after show where we answer questions either on the internet or even whoever selected ones, whoever would go into the studio and do a show. So that guy that Derek came up with was saying, those bones that you found under the floor. Yeah, were they human? Because Richard took them to the museum. Did you ever go back? No. Do you see what I'm coming? That would have made it so. And I must be honest with you that what's name's doing that a bit. Danny Robbins. There's a bit of that where they give you a bit of an after show to try and explain stuff, and that's what it's all about.
See,
Derek, the public were hoodwinked.
Yeah. Well, see, Derek. I mean, there's a lot been said, and there was a lot been said, but certainly between Derek and Yvette.
Yeah.
Now, there's things that have been said by Yvette 4 years after Derek's death.
I know,
which terrible. I think is completely out of order.
Don't speak ill of the dead.
No, and let me just go, because this news article came up last year. Most haunted, Derek co-star Derek Acorah is a fake who pretended to be possessed and tried to grope me, says Yvette Fielding.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when this news article? Because this news article came out because Yvette had written a memoir called Scream Queen.
Absolutely.
And she slated Derek in
tremendously.
It,
you'll believe it, honestly. I can't believe that you could do that to someone who's dead. Because at the end of the day, right, guess what? Derek Acorah was the star of Most Haunted. Whether you loved him or hate him, I don't care about that. People would watch that to see what antics perhaps Derek was going to get up to tonight, some of it.
Yeah.
And he made the show. But guess what? Most Haunted made Derek Acorah.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that either. So there should have been a really good mutual understanding there.
Yeah.
Because he was the star of Most, not them, Derek Acorah.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
I mean, I absolutely get it. I mean, the thing which is, I think, incredible is that I'll just, there's a couple of things. Number one, bearing in mind how long they spent working together, and I know they had a falling out, prior to Derek leaving, but then on his death, Yvette Fielding did the shortest condolence message I've ever read, which was, she's literally written, "Our condolences are with Derek's family at this time, Yvette and Karl." That's it.
Wow.
There was nothing else around Derek, his abilities, their relationship, the friendship, nothing at all.
Thank you for creating, in our opinion, what an incredible show we ended up with, because you were on it from series 1 to series 5, and that's basically the situation. There's no doubt about it. And the fact that he was, made out that he was a fake. Of course I don't. People say to me, "Do you believe in mediums?" I said, "Well, I believe in ghosts." So I think I must believe in it. But you were saying to me a little bit earlier about Derek and fake or not. On the show, I know there was a lot of how can I put that? I know that if there's nothing there, you're becoming the most famous medium in the world. At the end of the day, right? And you're being paid very well for it as well. It's pretty obvious if you can't find anything and you are being told, "Give me ghosts, please," then you have to come up with them, even if they're not there, right? So I know there was a certain amount of that went on. Of course there was. But the other one is that I then worked with Derek. You see, this ghost business. I want to change the name from ghost to energy, because that's what ghosts are. That's what we are. And some people generate energy, some people generate more. And when Derek and I worked together, things happened more. But we were very seldom put together, which is so stupid. Because honestly, when we did, the best one ever was in, Christ almighty, I can't remember the name of it, Kinnety Castle. And the stuff that went on down there, and the two of us, with the answers we were getting from was phenomenal. And I remember Derek saying it was on the show, "Richard, in all my years of mediumship, I have never had such a response from a spirit as we've got tonight." I thought, bloody hell, And so we didn't get put together very often. I wonder why. Because it's so silly. Because it was their show, and it was making their show, and it was making it better.
The things which I've come out like. I'll just say a couple of things that Yvette said. So this is a quote from Yvette. She said, This is after he had left. Yvette said, "We tell people everything is real. Then it turns out he was a fake, so he had to go."
I just don't believe it. Excuse me. Are you better, Richard? Yeah. I've got some virus or something as well that I've had for 3 weeks. Do apologise for that. Yeah, I mean, as I've said before, and I have to be honest, I swear to you, I was never asked to fake anything. Will you fall over, Richard? Will you start coughing? Will you have a headache? Will you? Never ever. And I swear to you guys, apart from the fact I do think I saw somebody pick a stone up, I didn't see them do anything with it. I saw them pick a stone up. I know I did. I never caught anybody faking it. I'll be honest with you, with my knowledge, be honest with you, of 33 years of this, things that happened, I doubted. Simple as that. That's the big one.
Well, Yvette, I take to keep on talking about Yvette, but she's written it in her memoir. Yvette described Derek as an egotistical monster.
I know.
Right? Do you think, do you think basically, because like you said at the start, he became the star of Most Haunted, do you think it was purely about ego?
Yes.
And do you think that's why you were also asked to leave?
Yes. I do. I do indeed. Yeah, absolutely. But I never knew that at the time. Because I'm not egotistical. I'm ordinary bloke, a very ordinary guy. I'll tell you, I can't stand that sort of stuff. But yeah, I can't believe now, after all these years, how you guys are still asking me to come on your shows, your podcasts, and it's because, and the reason is because I turned out, because I resigned, as Mr. Credible.
Yeah. And
that's the difference. And the next thing I'd like to say, obviously we'll go into questions in a few minutes as well, but the thing that got me was, yes, number one, I did say, did you ever see them investigate? No. And the problem we've got is, and this is, I love this, and I don't know whether this will cause trouble or not. None of the only people on that show that knew anything about ghosts was Kieran.
Yep.
Has been fascinated by ghosts all of his life. I can't believe it, because actually, would you believe, I sometimes wonder about his credibility, God bless him. I'm working with him on the 15th of November. I'm with him, God bless him. But, it all started with him with Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
Hang on
he's still obsessed to this day. Yeah, man. Exactly.
Yeah, and I think, great. He's a great guy. He really is. And obviously, so the guys that knew anything about ghosts, me, Kieran, and Derek.
Did you
fake or not, Derek? He knew an awful lot about the spirit world, the paranormal, and ghosts. Right?
Well, when you left, you basically said something along the lines of that they had no need for a historian anymore.
That's what they told me.
But then straight after you, they then employed Leslie Smith, who's a historian.
Leslie Screaming Smith.
Yeah. So did you feel? I mean, I used to, a long time ago, I used to work for Phil Wyman.
Right.
And I know that Phil Wyman, for years afterwards, because he used to talk to me about it, felt actually really bitter by the way in which they got rid of him and they replaced him for Kieran. And Kieran used to do the little segments at the end, and then they literally replaced him and they put him front and center.
They did indeed.
So Phil, I know for a long time, felt really quite pissed off about that. I still
think he does. God bless him.
Yeah. How did you feel when? I know you said you felt you had to leave, or was it a sacking? Did you want to leave, or was it a bit of?
I resigned. My son is witness. My youngest son, Wills, who used to come on some of the shoots, they were great to him. They said, right, just quick. Wills took over making films for me for this Ghost Tour of Great Britain. He made about 12 in total. And Karl came here with Yvette and taught Will's house to use a camera. Helped him. He was incredible.
Okay.
It was incredible. Honestly, we got on so well. This is the thing that gets me, really. Yeah, we got on tremendously. And so that, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, poor old Phil. Poor old Phil.
Well, just in the manner of your leaving and how it made you feel,
That's
really.
right, yeah. And so basically, I knew it was going down because it was starting to degenerate. Because I understand. Yeah, look, all TV's fake. I think. I'm sure of it. I'm sure everyone. I know for a fact the X Factor and they know who's going to win before they start. It's TV. TV is for I mean, I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I did. Come Dine With Me, couples, and it's a complete nothing. They don't sit and have a meal. You do a quick get that food out right now. Can you all go away upstairs to the bedroom while we we're taking you around in a taxi? No, you're not. It's all the same, guys. I hate to say it to spoil the illusion, but television is mainly fake. There's no doubt about that. And the same thing applies. It's an entertainment program, and it needed to get viewers, and that's the thing. Yeah. So back to the script. The only people that knew anything about ghosts was Kieran, Derek, and me. To be very honest with you, right? That was our. Hang on, that was our profession. I wasn't a paranormal investigator.
But you wouldn't think that if you listened and looked at how Yvette is portraying herself, would you?
I know. And the rest of them. So all the rest of them, guys, are. You see, it's the only program I knew at the time where people behind camera became front of camera.
Yes.
So let's go through it, shall we? Yvette, God bless her. I got on like a bomb with Yvette. We had honestly, it was great. They used to come here to my house. We did stuff together. They were great. I don't think it's such a shame. And so I still thank them for what they've done. But so she's a TV presenter.
Yeah.
End of story. Karl, God bless him, got on tremendously well with Karl. We had a lot in common with military history and all sorts of stuff. He's a cameraman and director and producer, right? Uncle Fester, Stuart, God bless him. He was, I believe, he was a lorry driver.
Yeah,
and then rigger on the show. John Gilbert. What was John Gilbert? I mean, he's a sound man. Big guy. I mean, that guy was so sensitive. I reckon if he walked into a maternity hospital, he'd feel slightly pregnant. Right? John Dibley, lovely guy, great guy. Got on well with John. Cameraman. Kath Howe, great girl. She's a hairdresser. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you scream before you faint. You fall down in a crescendo of your sound equipment or whatever it happened to be. Camera comes to you. People think it's great, and you get your 2 minutes of fame and a fan club. Why not? Yeah. What have they got to lose? Nothing. I had.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see where I'm coming from?
Got our first questions. Roger here saying, if Karl and Yvette were to call you up now and ask you to join them for a Halloween special live on BBC One, what would your answer be?
BBC One, probably. Probably, guys. I mean, I suppose I'd still say yes, but you've got to give me my head. You've got to let me speak out. Very quick. We were at I don't know, Welsh Castle. Can't remember the name of it. The wind was howling. It was a really cold. There was a banging going on like mad. And Yvette starts to scream, "Oh my God! Oh my God!" I said, "It's the wind." And she said, "Piffle, Richard Felix. That's not the wind." And I said, "Yvette, it's the bloody wind." And they put it on.
Did they really?
Yes.
I thought
it's
that's
on.
one of the first
The Welsh, super Welsh place. Can't remember what it's called. But yes, that's on it.
Hey,
Yes.
blimey, I'm surprised they didn't edit that out.
Let me do more. Let me create controversy on the show.
Yeah.
And that's what TV's about. You know,
Yeah.
what TV program hasn't got, oh my God, and there's visitors coming in 2 days, and the ceiling's just come in and they've got to replace that, and the plumber hasn't turned up. All the time, that's what TV's all about. Whatever program you watch, there's controversy.
Kazza, just a very quick thank you, massive thank you, just for the $50 Australian for the mods moderators. Thank you so much, Kazza. Bless you. Thank you so much for your just generosity, really, and just thanking the chat and helping the channel. Thank you. Richard Watt is saying, Richard, what was your favorite location to visit and investigate?
Oh God, I'll tell you what the favorite one would be. Jarrett, London, please. Yes, please. That'll never happen. Let me think about it. I love Chillingham Castle, although I didn't do it on the show because I wasn't on the beginning of series 1. But Chillingham to me is one of the most credibly haunted places in the country. I think it's fabulous. The other one, of course, is oh God Almighty, what's it called? Oh dear, isn't it awful when you get old and you can't remember things? Hey? It really is. Don't get old, guys. It's not good. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's gone. Place in Wales that was a sanatorium, and a singer lived there, an opera singer.
I know which one you mean, and I can't remember it either. But I know, somebody in the chat will know it in a second.
I know it. I'm talking about it all the time. I can't remember it tonight. That was scary. Didn't like that. It was very seldom that happens, but that was not the place I could have gone off on my own, even though something did happen to me in a bedroom. It was
Ali's asking, hi Richard, it's Ali here, the psychic with the blue hair who worked alongside you, Denise and Derek at Psychics and Science Spookfest 2012.
Hiya.
Says, what's your fondest memory working with the lovely Derek?
Oh, obviously the 15 stage shows we did, Psychic and Science. After Derek came on Psychic and Science, and then it all folded, and Derek and I took it on. In partners, we were partnership, and we did about 15 shows. And what I was going to say quick, which I'm earlier about whether he was a fake, there was a very different Derek that you saw on the show of Psychic and Science to what you saw on Most Haunted, because basically that wasn't scripted, and he basically used to have a 20-minute slot at the beginning of the show. It was a 3-hour show, and after 20 minutes he was supposed to come off, and he wouldn't. It became, Rich, I need to speak to this lady. Look, if you're a fake and you've done your 20 minutes, wouldn't it be, get me off, I've done another 20 minutes. No, he stayed. We had to get a cattle prod to get him off.
Right. Beardo's asking, Richard, Beardo came over to Derby Jones, saw you. It's saying, Richard, do you think anyone else other than you and Kieran walked out of that show credible?
Oh, Derek, because I love it. People say, I've had comments frequently about this. Derek has been officially branded as a fake, and I sent back questions, said to them things like, "Well, hang on a minute. Number one, there's no proof that ghosts exist, so that means there's no proof there's life after death. So that means there's no proof one way or the other whether mediums are real." And secondly, what is this special official body that you're telling me about that has branded him as a fake? Is it Most Haunted by any chance? So, come on. There's no such thing as branding him as a fake. We don't know. I don't know.
I will just read, actually, something that Derek wrote. Derek wrote this. So I'm just going to read what he says. He says, I've been crucified and lied about. There is a lot of jealousy out there, but I haven't opened my mouth about Yvette for years. I had a confidentiality clause, and I've said if I'd said anything negative, I'd have been sued and pursued, and all my money would have been taken away. Those were lies to discredit me because I was leaving Most Haunted to do my own program, Derek Acorah's Ghost Tours. So that's, so he was, he didn't take it lying down, did he?
No, he didn't. No. It upset him terribly. But it's such a shame because, you see, my comment has always been, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. because I still say he made Most Haunted. Karl and Yvette created Most Haunted. There's no doubt about it. And what a fantastic job they've done. Honestly, and I thank them so much for it. It's done me the world of good. But he was the guy that people really watched it. And even today, branded as a faker, he still has a huge following 5 years after his death.
Yeah. Sage Rat, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Just noticed that. Thank you very, very much for that. Thank you, Sage Rat. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to whiz down the chat a second. 3 Spies Paranormal saying, did you ever watch BBC's Ghost Watch show? And what did you think? And did you think it should have been banned?
I have to be very honest with you. I don't watch ghost programs. I've never seen it. I never saw it, guys.
It was kind of like, it was a kind of, it was
it the one with
it came out just before Most Haunted, and it's what Most Haunted pretty much based their whole format on.
Was Parky on it? Was it Parkinson?
Yeah,
I've heard
it was that kind of mockumentary kind of.
Yeah, it had the world, everyone like having a program saying there's a World War III's just started, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I didn't see it, guys. I'm sorry. I don't watch ghost programs.
Gareth is saying, which was the best place you investigated on the program?
On the program, I've got the title. I've got Craigienorth Castle, by the way, in Wales, was the one where Adeline Pate, her ghost is alleged to be there. That was a very good. No, Queen Mary, got to be.
Okay.
Yeah, best one. More stuff happened there, I think, and some of it was genuine. I'm sure of it. Quite sure of that.
Yeah. Phil saying from UK Paranormal Search saying, how did you feel about Kieran setting Derek up? The Creed Kafer moment.
Well, I have it on authority that it wasn't Kieran that set him up.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
I can't actually say any more than that because I don't know the facts. But I think you need to buy Gwen's book.
That's really interesting actually, because it's always been just kind of like Kieran set that up.
And I don't know I've never spoken to him about it, but I don't know whether he actually takes the credit. But I am told that it didn't actually come from him in the first. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure it was within consultation with him, I would think.
Yeah.
But I believe I may be wrong on this one, but I don't think it was actually him that did it. But I'm not sure. But you see, my criticism of that is if you've got to give me ghosts all the time and you can't find one because there ain't one there at the time, and you hear someone mention something, well, what would you do? You're on an entertainment program.
And you're being paid,
to be on an entertainment program. To give me ghosts, yeah?
Yeah.
That's all.
Paul Harrison saying, good evening, Mr. Felix. I hope you're well. I'm so honored to have the chance to ask you a question. Is there any place you wish you had visited with Most Haunted?
I wish I'd visited with Most Haunted.
Yeah.
That's a good question, actually, because, again, I suppose there are places I'd still like to visit, but I suppose I'd get more benefit from visiting it on my own.
Yeah.
Because I might get more out of it. I think that's the problem. Yeah. And I can't remember. It's something like 120 odd programs I did.
Oh God, yeah. Huge.
God knows how many lives. And I loved it. It was Christ Almighty to get on that and to be treated as I was most of the time was great. They were great. And they created them. I keep saying it, don't I? Because I criticise it because I wish they could. Wish they'd have done more to try and get in with it to sort out this ghost business. Which is what I'm trying to do. Do you think
they missed the trick with that one?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to prove, Christ Almighty, what ghosts are.
Yeah.
The reality, not Scooby-Doo stuff. The reality behind it. They're not scary. We're just frightened of them because we don't understand why they're there.
In fairness to you, I think you've been trying to do that, for the year since you left Most Haunted.
Well, before
banging that drum.
Before Most Haunted, because basically the first ghost walk I ever did 33 years ago in January, I thought was rubbish. I thought, I was chairman of Derby Tourism. I thought, what can we do to bring people to Derby? York do a ghost walk. Oh, let's do a ghost walk. And I talked to people. I read a few stories out of books, and I did this ghost. They liked it. People liked it. I thought it was rubbish. Because basically I stopped and I thought, look, can't do this unless I believe what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do anything for about 8 months, nearly a year, actually, before I set up another ghost walk after doing a phenomenal amount of research and talking to people, including an incredible medium that's from Derby, that I learned so much more about ghosts from. Because as I say, I needed to believe in what I was talking about. And I'm interested in the history that created the ghost.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I get it, because then you're that much more credible, aren't you, as a speaker?
Yes.
Debunk is saying, please tell me that David Wells was genuine. Kieran always said he rated him.
It's a difficult one. I know he mentioned to me a long time ago that if he had anything to do with ghosts anymore, it'd be too soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I know he doesn't do. I don't think he's even in this country. I don't think he's had. Because I mean, to be honest with you, David Wells was an astrologer.
Yeah.
As monk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As well.
And that's what Kieran told me. Is, you know, he's only ever described himself as an astrologer, not as a psychic medium.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. All I know is that Derek was definitely out of favour when David was brought in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, I hasten to advertise, but read Gwen's book.
Maybe I should get Gwen on here, because that'd be a really interesting chat as well.
You need to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'd be quite a revelationist, talking to her.
I'm actually, hopefully in the near future, spoken to her about it, bringing her down to Derby Jail to do a book signing, and then an evening with Gwen.
Yeah, that'd be lovely, actually. That'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Bumps into things tonight says, Richard, what did you think to Karl and Yvette's apparent stone tape theory coverage that they got a few years ago in the newspapers of Stuart walking up a corridor?
Didn't know anything. Didn't know anything about it. That's the first I've ever heard about it.
Well, that's the bit where they'd apparently captured a ghost at Wentworth Woodhouse.
Right.
But it turned out to be the striking similarity of Stuart, and it was an overlay. But they made out it was a stone tape theory. It could have been produced. I think, how did they explain it? They basically said the stone tape thing, maybe that it was the ghost of a living person of Stuart, and it was a really ridiculous kind of thing, because they'd basically been caught out.
I didn't know anything about. I didn't know they actually, because that was all my idea. This stone tape thing, it's not come from me, but I've been on about this for 25 years, and I'm just writing a book at the moment all about it, basically, because I've come up with an awful lot more fascinating stuff about this stone tape business. But it's not stone tape at all; it's silica tape, which is in stone, but it's in water as well, and us. And it's absolutely. I didn't know about that, but the funny thing is, I actually got to ring somebody back in the next day or two that actually was in a very serious car accident and died at the scene. The paramedics worked on him on the scene and brought him back to life. And after quite a long period in hospital, he was driving down the same road where he has his accident, and he saw his ghost.
That's fascinating, isn't it? That's absolutely fascinating. I love stories like that.
Which is, I've got to go into that more, because it's quite a famous guy that came up with this, and a guy told me on a podcast last week, funnily enough. So it's from that, because you see, without going into it now, I must come and talk to you about some more. It's all to do with trauma and energy that's expelled as you're dying. Right, but I can't see how the Stuart thing could happen, because I don't think Stuart was in a particularly traumatic condition where the 2 kilowatts of electricity that we all generate can be gathered together in time of crisis to cause a recording of him, because that's how it happens. Yeah. So it can't just because he's there. I might watch that and see what it's all about. I didn't even know they ever mentioned stone tape.
Quick
Where
shout
was
out to
it?
Mickey York, because I think you was talking to Mickey
Sorry.
York when you're speaking about that.
I
So yeah,
was.
quick shout out
I
to him.
was.
Simon's just saying, we did a ghost walk pub crawl with Richard years ago in York. Brilliant night. Any plans to do more? I mean, are you doing more? Are you going to take it easy since the operation and things?
Well, I don't do a don't do a lot of. I've got 2 guys that do ghost walks for me now in Derby, and I do specials, and I do a haunted pub crawl because I like that. I just look for the spirits behind the bar, basically. And so I do those. But funnily enough, I was only talking to the Golden Fleece a few weeks ago about coming back and doing I used to do a monthly York. I used to do a York Ghost Walk, Chester Ghost Walk, Leicester Ghost Walk, Chesterfield Ghost Walk, Ashbourne Ghost Walk, 2 Derby Ghost Walks. I'm too bloody old, I tell you. So I don't do any of them now. But I would like to actually go back and start doing something in York, because I love York. It's fabulous. Fabulous.
Absolutely. I can't go back, unfortunately, because I'm a bit far behind with the questions, because I just saw a really good question before. But I'll have to go.
A bit like Ken Dodge, you see. That's the trouble. You wind me up and let me go.
There's APRF. I did see a question, but I can't go back to it, I'm afraid. So if you want to put that in the chat again. Ash McCrudden saying, are there any locations that you believe that the reported hauntings were completely made up in the UK or worldwide?
Both. Loads of them. Because basically, what better way? Do you remember how frightened people were of ghosts in the medieval times and right up until not long ago? People were really frightened of ghosts. They really and they believed in hell, and they believed in all the teachings of the church, and they were really, really frightened, right? Now, what better way of keeping someone away from the contraband in the church that's been stored by the vicar when the smugglers brought it in? What better way of keeping people off the beach where the cave is, the tunnel that leads to the pub when the smuggled brandy's being brought in, than making up a ghost?
Yeah.
What about the same thing on the moors? We don't want the kids going out on the moors at night, so why don't we invent a big black dog with red staring eyes and fangs? Yeah, a harbinger of death. Come on, guys. An awful headless horseman, coaches and horses with headless driver. Come off it. But people believed all that.
Yeah. I mean, this question actually relates a little bit to that, like that, actually. Helen's just saying, hey, Richard, do you think we don't move on because we're scared of what would happen when we do?
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure. I think you're right there. But we should move on, because we need to move away from what most paranormal groups, unfortunately, won't want. Is, for God's sake, let's get away from, dare you come on one of our ghost hunts tonight? What was the, I can't remember a big famous one. It's all to do with scare factor, and it's not. So until we get away from this fear factor, we aren't going to move on. Because the beauty of actually what I'm preaching, for want of a better word, I'm not for 1 minute saying there is life after death, which is what we all want. But what I am saying is there is some form of existence after material death.
Yeah.
Something goes on in some form. The energy that's that's the inward energy, not your body, is electromagnetic, and it goes on. It has to go on. It can't be destroyed. First law of thermodynamics.
I think you're. I don't the audio's crackling a bit at my end, so I don't know what the issue is. I don't what's going on with the internet. Just very, very quickly, Ali from Hauntex TV, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Bless you. Oh, hang on, Richard's gone. I'm thinking he might come back in a second. If he does come back, I'll get him back on. But I don't know why. I think he lost the internet there for a sec. So bear with me a minute, and I'll see if he comes back in. Hopefully he does. Hopefully it's not his phone died, which it might be, because I think he might have been using his phone. But anyway, we are at the hour mark anyway. But just very, 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 very quickly, if he can't come back on, you know, I apologize if his phone's died. It might be the reason why it went crackly and then he went blank. But I will get him on if he comes back on in a second. But just say until if and when he comes back on, just a huge thank you to every single one of you for joining us tonight. I know that Richard said he'd be only about an hour, and it is the hour mark, so I don't think Richard would be able to come on for too much longer anyway, even if he did manage to get his phone up and running. But just a massive thank you to everybody who's tuned in this evening, for all the comments, the donations, the memberships, the super chats. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this massively. I hope, I hope you've I think I hope you've enjoyed listening to Richard. I know that if I could, I'd be speaking to him for a lot longer, because I think there's still some more unanswered questions in amongst all of this. But I think there's a limit to what he can say. So thank you to every single one of you. If you have enjoyed this evening, please do subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. If you like it, thumbs up. Please leave a comment. All of those kinds of brilliant things. Anyway, so I think because he's not coming back on, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there. We shall have to leave the questions for another time, because I think he's not coming on, and I think that would be the end of the show anyway, after about an hour. Phew. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Again, lots and lots of love to all the people who donated. Thank you for all the comments. I'm sorry I couldn't get round through everybody, and I'm sorry that the audio went a bit crackly before Richard disappeared. Like I say, if you have enjoyed this evening, please help the channel, please subscribe, please like it and share it, and I shall see you again. Certainly next Monday. We'll see if we might do a tea party later on this week. We shall see. Anyway, until then, phew. Thanks ever so much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you loved having Richard on. I've loved having Richard on. It's so nice to have, chat to him. And yeah, until then, or until maybe Thursday or next Monday, whenever I'm back on, I shall have a great night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your night. And I shall see you very soon. All right. Night, guys.